guys. It's been a while. And I have a new video for you all. You may have read the title, seen the thumbnail, but yada yada. Also, I don't mind all those random noises in the background. That's just my cat. And yeah, still. Today we are going to do an LPS iceberg. Whoa. So obviously, well, I'm not that good at editing, so I can't really show you the iceberg because I can't edit, but still, I'll tell you the entries, and yeah, I think you know how an iceberg chart works by this point in YouTube journey, so let's start. G1 and G2 pets. Level 1. Okay, let's see here. G1 and G2 pets. These are the first LPS created / distributed, or whatever you'll say. But they're probably the most famous as, well, obviously they're the first ones, so they're the ones that usually people think of when they think of LPS or Littlest Pet Shop. I actually have a Gen 1 or Generation 1 number 1 pet. Let me go grab him. Here they are. This weird little chihuahua. I don't usually use him that much, but still. How big is your Littlest Pet Shop? I think this one refers to like how big your crew of LPS is, or like how many LPS you own. Although I'm not fully sure, as I couldn't really find much. I have just about over 100, maybe 110, 120-ish, somewhere around there, of LPS. That's about it. Nintendo DS and Wii games. This one, I'm pretty sure, is for, well, obviously, Nintendo DS and LPS, like Wii games and stuff. The main one is a game just called Littlest Pet Shop that was released in October of 2008. Sorry, I have to look back at my script, but still. And it was essentially just a game where you like raise them, play with them, yada yada. I actually had a LPS game when I was a little kid that I think released around 2010, 2011, maybe. My memory is a bit foggy, but yeah. I think it's actually lost media now, because it was a game that I had on my old Kindle Fire. Yes, I'm old. Still. And it, Kitty, anyway, it had, just like a scroll back and forth town that, you could get, like, grow your, like, LPS collection, stuff like that, but I have no clue what that game is or where it is now. If someone knows, please tell me in the comments. I really want to play it just for nostalgia purposes. Also, there's a ton of LPS lost media, but that's a different thing. The animated series. So, from 2012 to 2016, there was an LPS animated series that basically was just adventures of like the different LPS and stuff. But that's about it. I would show a clip or two, but copyright is stupid. Customization or customs. These are known as LPS customs. And they, well, here, I don't really have to tell you, and I can just show you. My mascot Pride right here is a custom. Basically, you can just take like a blank LPS or like a dupe or duplicate that you have of one, preferably one that isn't real, and you just paint it. You can add little things to it, like here with my custom river, I took some clay and put it on her to make these little antlers to cover one of like her eyes and stuff, make little wings, stuff like that. There's endless possibilities for what you could do as long as you know what you're doing. YouTube and Instagram community. So the YouTube and Instagram community, personally, well, I'm part of the YouTube community. We're kind of known as LPS tubers or LPS YouTubers. I'm not fully sure what the Instagram community is called because, well, I don't use Instagram, but still, yeah, we're a pretty big community, and we have been kind of for a while, ever since someone kind of like picked up a camera. Ooh, maybe I can film this kind of thing. Layer 2, LPS Popular. LPS Popular is a LPS YouTube series first made in early 2010, and uploaded by a now, I'm guessing, YouTuber who quit / moved channels, named Sophie GTV, or Sophie Garrett. Personally, I was never too big of a fan of LPS Popular, but I know a bunch of people are. And, well, so I probably shouldn't be talking, but still, I know a lot of people like this, and I know that a remake was made, but I'm not fully sure when. Comic-Con LPS. So, as you already may know, Comic-Con is a big kind of get-together of a bunch of people who like things, and one of those is LPS. And at one point, Hasbro released 2 LPS specially only for Comic-Con, being the Comic-Con cat and the Comic-Con hippo, which I actually have the Comic-Con cat. One second. This is my kind of worn and torn Comic-Con cat. I got her for about $6.50 off eBay. And I mean, they can go for much more. But I mean, I got her a while ago. So the Comic-Con hippo looks kind of like the Comic-Con cat, but it seems to go for way more. Also, these two are very highly sought after by collectors, by LPS collectors specifically, obviously, but yeah. As there was only a few of them ever made, and they were never reproduced. Hence, I have one of the only few. I think that there was about 30, maybe 25, 30, but I may be lowballing it, for how many Comic-Con cats / hippos were made. And they can go for like thousands of dollars, like hundreds of thousands. I guess hundreds, if not thousands. But yeah. Prototype pets. Prototype pets are a special group of pets. I actually have a few. I'm just going to use Coco here as an example. But these are pets that were never supposed to be released to the public. And they were occasionally seen in old box art or leaked from websites, or just accidentally made and sold. These also go for hundreds, if not thousands, although usually from what I could gather, hundreds. I actually got Coco in a random set of like 100 pets that I got randomly off eBay one time. So I'm not fully sure where she exactly came from, but yeah, that's kind of prototype pets for you. Original Kenner LPS. Kenner LPS were something around the late 90s, around 1997, 1998. I think is when they were first kind of seen in stores, but maybe it was later or earlier than that. I don't really know. But they were small plastic toys, actually similar to this girl over here that I got from a hospital like gift shop, I think, one time. But they were kind of like this, just like different pets and things. They came with cool play sets and like your just generic kind of LPS thing. They, I think, are vintage, and they go for maybe about 100 for some like larger collections of them. Maybe more, maybe less. I don't really feel like looking farther into it. It's kind of boring. 2005 recreation pets. From what I could gather, okay, I don't really know what this is talking about because I couldn't really find anything besides the fact that LPS kind of first took their like first known form in 2005, but that's literally all that I could find. Sorry. Giant deco pets. These LPS are gigantic, and I think only like 3 or 4 different pets actually exist. There's like a bunch of them, but they only come in like 4 main forms. I personally really want to get my hands on 1 or 2 of them, and I think some of them like you could like customize, but they're not very well known. From my understanding is pretty much only like some collectors even own them. LPS blind bags. These pets usually came in blind bags, usually around Gen 6 or Gen 7. Do any of y'all remember that weird fortune cookie blind bag thing that happened with LPS that one time? Because I really feel like I'm the only one that ever talks about that, let alone remembers it. Because I have a few pets from that weird thing that happened in like 2016. But there's been a lot of blind bags over the years, but I've noticed that it usually happens with Gen 6 or Gen 7 pets. Or, obviously, the new ones. Plug and play. So, plug and plays were kind of a thing around the 2000s, 2010, like late 2000s, 2010s. But obviously I wasn't really around for them, let alone really had them. Literally, I only have like I think a Pac-Man plug and play, but that's like about it. But still, there's an LPS version of a plug and play, I think called the Big Adventure plug and play, that had some random cool LPS games on it that I think are kind of rare now. Maybe I give up. 2006, 2007 digital pets. These pets, I think what they're talking about is, at least what this entry is talking about, are some games that where you could take, like for example, like maybe like on the underside or like back of the head of the pet. Because I remember doing that a few times as a little kid, taking them and like holding them up to the screen, and then you'd get a pet, like, and then you'd get like an LPS like in the game, but that could also be something else. The shapes in G2 pet eyes. This entry is talking about how LPS around Gen 2 started being printed with special eyes that gave them, or at least were supposed to mean like that they had like a distinct personality. I don't really understand it. I don't know. That's what the internet told me. Also, that actually kind of makes sense. Layer 3. Fairy toy line. The fairy toy line was a pretty early LPS toy line. Kind of the first, I think, like kind of special one they did that was more unique. And it had special pets. I actually have one of them. Granted, she is old and vintage and she's missing her wings. As you can see, they got ripped off or cut off at some point. But this is a fairy LPS. I Don't ask me where her wings went. I don't know. Fairy controversy. This one, I'm pretty sure is that people kind of hated the fairy toy line for some reason. I mean, personally, I think that some of them look cute, but I mean, with a few of them, I can kind of understand where they were coming from. I think that they hated them so much that that's kind of why Hasbro stopped making pets from that toy line. But that's all that I know personally. Walkable toy line. I think that this is referring to the LPS Walkables toy line. I actually really want to get my hands on a few of these pets. These were LPS that were pretty weirdly built. Like they had like a slice like down like their midsection, and then they would kind of walk based off batteries and kind of just walk. Just look them up for yourself because trust me, they look very weird and very funny, at least in my opinion. LPS Online. This was kind of a thing, kind of like what I was talking about earlier with the games, kind of like the plug and play. It's basically the same thing, but also this time now they have plushies and cool stuff like that. The teeniest, tiniest toy line. This is really weird, but these are essentially just really tiny, little LPS. I personally only have this one from like Gen 5 or Gen 6 and everything was like kind of like sparkly like this. Look at how look at how small that is. Look at that. Look at how small that is. But I don't really know why they made these. Harmony the Dancing Dog. Please don't look this up. It's so ugly. But this was like a weird like plushy thing that moved. That's all I want to talk about it. Layer 4. G3 pets. These are LPS that I noticed a lot of people hated when they came out because they don't look like the normal LPS, and they had like weird themes, and it was just a mess. G3 controversy. I don't really think this needs an explanation because everyone hated G3 for some reason with a burning passion. I don't actually think I have any G3 LPS to put out as an example, but yeah. Bring back old LPS. This was a kind of movement that people did like way back in the day, and basically people just really wanted the old like Gen 1, Gen 2 LPS back. Obviously, well, yeah, because they changed it in Gen 3, which I think kind of worked with Gen 4. I don't know, man. I was part of the movement though. Also, there's a really good song that someone made. Magic Motion toy line. This was a toy line made in I think 2006, 2005, which I actually have a few pets for. These two pets are super weird because you move its paw and its tongue sticks out. And with this one, you move its head back and its tongue sticks out. These are like super weird, and I don't really know why they made them. Strange shifts in materials and quality. I think around 2015, maybe with a heavy asterisk. The pets kind of started losing their quality. Like, their heads got really squishy, the plastic may have changed, the sets kind of decreased in quality, kind of stuff like that. Layer 5. G4 pets. This entry is, well, kind of obvious. This is another one that people really hated G4 LPS. Kind of like they did with G3. because ugly. G5-LPS, same thing as before. The same thing. Hasbro just fully lit them on fire, practically. They're ruining themselves. I don't know what else to say. G4 controversy. Ugly. Short-lived G2 pet revival. They kind of brought G2 back for some reason. I mean, granted, because everyone wanted them to come back. But they only did it for like a month or two and only gave us a few pets. So that's a bit, At least you tried, Hasbro. At least you tried. Hasbro stopped trying. This one you can probably piece together from some of the other entries on here, but Hasbro kind of stopped trying with making LPS and making them look good. Like, before it was like an art, now it's kind of just like a dumpster fire that they threw a bunch of paint at to make it look, pretty. And finally, G5 Revival Bait. This is the last entry that I'm going to do today. And basically, Hasbro kind of teased bringing back Gen 5, but they never actually did, from my knowledge. Maybe they did, and I'm just being stupid, but still. And people called it, like, nostalgia bait, and because people were nostalgic for these kind of old pets, and they want them back. So, this is still a mess, and it always will be a mess. But, at least we're united together. And if I don't see you, good morning, good evening, and good night. Pride out.